Noah Lyles. Now I'll open the floor for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll bring you the microphone.
So, question just for Noah Lyles. So, I initially saw you, of course, cross the line. You saw the time. It said 19:32, and you kind of walked away before it changed to 19:31. What was your initial reaction when you saw that time?
It was, I expected to see that time, but I didn't want it to say 32. I wanted my own time, I don't want to share a record. Nobody wants to share a record. I don't even think Michael Johnson would want to share a record. So I was just like begging it to change. I'm just like, come on, don't do this to me, please. Like, that was cool. And then I turn around and I hear the crowd just go into uproar. And I'm like, what happened? Did somebody, do something else? But I was like, we were the last event. And then I look up at the big screen and it says 31, and I just went ballistic.
The reporters in here might not have seen it, but Michael Johnson came out onto the track while you were celebrating.
Yes, he did.
What did he say to you?
He first congratulated me, and to be honest, I was shocked because, of course I've interacted with him on Twitter, but I've never actually met him in person. This is somebody that we used to whip up on my dad when he was running, so. But it was just, I feel like it was a generation meeting another generation, and I was talking about how when I was in Tokyo for the Olympics, how many times I watched his race to try to figure out how I'm going to win out of lane 3. Because I still to this day don't know how he did that. But yeah, he was just congratulating me, and we were just, exchanging good farewells and great jobs and whatever amazing careers we both had and have.
Noah, you made a comment that you think you are going to be your biggest rival going forward. Earlier I was talking to Otto Bolden about how one way to grow this sport and get more young fans, because this is a very elderly population in Tracktown, is more rivalries. But you guys seem to get along really well. Have you ever thought that it would be okay to be a villain or be a bad guy or talk more trash? Really played down what happened in outdoors, but it generated a lot of interest.
You really want me to be up here standing on this table cursing people out?
I'm not saying I curse people out by any means.
When you're saying a villain. I mean, I've thought about it, but, the villain is fun for a little bit until people are, hating on you. To be honest, a rivalry doesn't have to be you, hating each other. A rivalry can be every time you step on the track, you know that you guys are going to go at it. One of my favorite people to race is Michael Norman, because I know that every time we race, it's gonna be electric. Some people still to this day tell me bro, I remember the time you raced Michael Norman, you guys were neck and neck, and you went at 72 and 73, and it was amazing. That was a rivalry. But it doesn't have to be, aggressive. We can come out here and we could still be buddies, but we know every time we get on that track, it's there's no friendship. It's all on the track, and we all coming for each other.
So, question for Kenny B. So, Kenny, I know you work with Dennis Mitchell, and you guys have a crazy training environment with so many top-notch athletes. Can you talk to me about that training environment, how you all support each other, as you go throughout the season?
Well, like you said, we have incredible athletes and a lot of talent. But yeah, we all try to hold each other accountable every single time we step on the track. And if we see somebody slacking off, we try to pick them up and tell them to do it the right way. If they're doing something wrong, just hold each other accountable.
And sorry, Kenny, just one more question. Was there any point through the season? I know you dealt with a couple injuries. Was there any point where you weren't sure if you were going to be able to get to this point of getting back on the podium? Were you?
I mean, like you said before, had a setback. Honestly, I didn't really have a doubt that I was going to be on the team or make the podium. It's the only time I had a doubt is when I first initially broke my toe. But other than that, trying to get my body back to healing and doing everything to get back and running and getting back in shape. after my race in Rome, I felt pretty good with progression-wise that I was going to be able to make the team and make the podium.
Noah, I just wondered how much this means to you, given third place last year at the Olympics, and also as you were celebrating, you pointed to your icon tattoo. Can you give a bit more sort of background around that, please?
Yeah, my icon tattoo was the first tattoo I ever got. I only have two of them. I have the icon, and then I have right across from it my Olympic rings. And I remember when I got that tattoo, and I was in a few interviews, and I was like, I wanted people to be able to say, Noah Lyles is the icon. Of course, that comes with running fast, but at the same time, that comes with trials and tribulations. And Tokyo was a trial, and I had to get through it. I was just talking out in the mix zone, and we were talking about how me speaking about mental health in that moment now makes this moment also great, because it shows that you can go through a dark storm and come out of it better than you were before, stronger than you were before. It doesn't mean that you're always going to stay like that. Life is about hills and valleys, and right now I'm in a valley, but I just came from a huge hill that I had to traverse and make it to the other side of. And that's what being an icon is, and showing people that you can do it too. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, you can be a normal person. We all go through problems, and we all can get better.
Hey Noah, you've talked about how difficult Tokyo was with no fans. Just curious, can you describe what it's like during the course of a race when you feel that support and you can hear it, and also just what this meant to you to do this on U.S. soil in front of your home fans?
It's like being a rock star. I remember throughout all the rounds, we would go out and they were just cheering our name, but gosh darn it, when us three walked out and they were already standing, already screaming our names out. Like, you don't hear that in Europe. Maybe one or two people that have been living in Europe that are from America, and maybe you're odd person, but gosh, nobody's out there screaming your name, and it's like, yeah, let's go. And they're cheering for their countrymen, but we're the countrymen here, and gosh darn it, that feel amazing.
Martin, at 18, you're already on the podium. What does that mean to you, and what does that do to your career progression?
This might kind of loud. I gotta back up a little bit. It feels good. Being the youngest medalist ever, coming out here and finishing the sweep for my team, and getting on the podium. So, there's not much I can ask for other than this.
I've got a couple of quick questions. First one for you, Noah. That's another clean sweep for the USA in the 200 meters. You also swept the 100 meters. What does that mean for you guys going into that 4x100 meter relay, and whether or not you think that it's possible to get that record, given how fast you're running right now? And the second question is just about the rivalry that was asked about earlier. There's still a couple of records in the 200 meters that are yet to be broken. Usain Bolt's, and obviously Johan Blake has also run faster. Do you think that the rivalry that is developing now between all three of you could push you further to break that record?
Yeah, so addressing the first one about the relay, it's gonna be fast. Losing Fred definitely hurt, not gonna lie. But everybody who's on that relay is prepared and ready to run. I've watched them train, I've watched them do handoffs. They've been, the guys who haven't been competing yet and only here for the handoffs, they've been doing the handoffs every day. I believe there's nothing but trust and chemistry between everybody. And to be honest, I still expect a great outcome, because a relay is not about who has the fastest people, as America has learned that. It's about who can move that stick around the fastest. And I believe that we've been doing a lot of research into how to make that stick move without complicating it too much. Going to the rivalry, these guys right here, they're definitely proving that, even if I wasn't here, they would be dominating the 200. They speak for themselves. 19.4, 19.6. Kenny dropping 19.6 almost every race that he came out of. Arion, I haven't even heard him running 20-point yet. I mean, the last time I heard him, he ran 20-point was in high school. As a sophomore? Sophomore. It's wild. It's wild. I don't gotta speak for them. They speak for themselves. It's gonna get done. Every record, you know, I think the thing about records is they have to come on the right day, the right time, the right training, the right health, the right wind. The wind gotta be legal. It can't be raining. Well, some people might be good enough to do in the rain, but you know, you don't want to do it in the rain. But as I'm saying, every time that we go up is another opportunity for us to run faster, and I know that each time that we show up, we're gonna give our 100%.
No, when did you get your icon tattoo? How old were you?
It was after indoor. 2018, right after indoor in 2018, so somewhere around March to April is when I got it. Yeah, I told my mom I was gonna get it, and my mom's not the biggest at the tattoo. But when I told her what I wanted to get and what it meant, you know, she was like, yeah, okay, I can get behind that. There it is back. Yeah, she didn't have a problem with that.
I guess this is a question for everybody, but the US team has already had huge success right across the championships. What are your guys' thoughts on how you turn that success into greater popularity for track and field, not just in the US, but raising its profile?
So to turn it into greater popularity, I mean, what we just did in the 1 and the 2, I mean, I feel like it can bring more attention to the sport. And then I feel like being in the United States just made it even better that we just swept it.
There's a lot of different ways. I think something that I have really thought about over the last 3 years is how I want to, you know, get my next few years in check. Lately, I have gone to the Met Gala. I have, you know, shown up at the VIP of US Open. I've been invited to talk to the second gentleman. I literally have been doing collabs and walked runways at Paris Fashion Week. And every time I'm, you know, checking off boxes, I'm like, okay, I don't think I need to be seen so much as a track and field. Yeah, the winning is good, and that's what's gonna make me money in the short run, but I think I need to be an influencer, because that's the type of mindset that they really want. Yeah, it's my job to sell shoes, but what if I was selling shoes and I didn't have to run on the track? What if they're seeing me all the time, except for on an occasional NBC run, on TikTok, social media? You know, my social media is one of my most powerful things. When you go to a company and they say, you know, we want to represent you, the next question is how many followers you have. And one of my strongest things is I have a strong following. I might not have the biggest, but my engagement is stronger than almost anybody you have out there. Usually people will have bots. I know that my people aren't bots because they sell what they know what they like, and they like what they like. They like track, but you know, turning that into a whole nother market. At the end of the day, if Adidas sees that, that's what they're gonna love, you know, and then they're gonna want to push that more and more. And all of a sudden, more companies that are not associated with track are gonna see that and want to dip into that more and more. All of a sudden, we got American companies, you know, supporting a track and field athlete that, you know, they're like, oh, you do track too? It's like, well, we might throw a few hundred 2 years here and there, and he's like, oh, really? Yeah. And you want to throw a track meet together? Yeah, we do that, because you're bringing in so many influences and so many new markets. That's a whole nother step right there.
Does that sadden you though that the sport doesn't come first, that you have to do that other side rather than the track and field work?
We're already in a world where it's a both thing. Shoe companies are still now encouraging you to get your social media up. You know, the job, it's already started. You know, it's now part of our job, because anytime that you probably sign a contract, I know Kenny's probably been asked and Ariana's probably been asked by their shoe companies, hey, post this real quick to all your followers. And you're thinking, well, why would I do that? I thought my job was to run. No, your job is to sell shoes. And the more that you show and have a bigger following, the more they're gonna wanna use you, the more they're probably gonna wanna pay you.
Last call for questions. Final question.
Okay, so Noah, if you all need to become track influencers, what else is on your list to do? You've done Fashion Week, you are active on TikTok. Do you need a reality show? Do the three of you need a reality show? Do you need to partner with another type of influencer?
To be honest, it's not so much of what. So being an influencer isn't about how much you do, it's how consistent you are. So the more consistent you are at getting those numbers up, is the more likely somebody's going to be entertained by this. I'm always pushing for more, whether that's in myself or in other people. And I'm always gonna be appreciative of people who are always striving for more. So if I see journalists who are really trying to push outside the box, I usually tell my agent, yo, I found this low-key journalist, but gosh darn it, do I love their ideas. We need to get something worked on. Something that constantly I throw at my agent. And it gets me new followers, because they're not targeting the normal track people. They're targeting people outside. And that brings a whole influx of new people to me. So it's not so much about staying, you know, the biggest influencer. It's about how consistent and how well can you work with other people and get that mindset going.
So track reality show?
I'm not a fan of reality shows. I like docuseries though. And anybody who's seen Kanye West docuseries, yeah, they need to watch that. Because gosh darn it, they did it right.
That's a no for you too, Kenny?
Yeah, that's a no.
No. All right, with apologies for the demolition happening next door, thank you all, and congratulations to the medalists tonight.